You want to go to someone and work out your differences with them, but they're being a complete ding dong. That's what we're talking about today on Body Slammed. What's up, guys? After having watched one of my podcasts, a friend of mine, a new friend on the other side of the world, sends me a message. It says, I've gone to this guy in my church and tried to work out my differences, but I've had no luck at all. I give up. Any suggestions? Actually, I do have a few. Go figure. This one particular fellow that was in my church, I had an issue with him and he had an issue with me. So I went to his office and was going to try to work it out. And I said, hey, we're both grown men. We love the Lord. Let's try to work this out. And he looked at me eye to eye and he said, the only thing you can do is get your kids, get your wife, and get out. That was how he wanted to work it out. And then he went back to his computer and got cold and had nothing else to say to me. Another situation, I had a couple of my friends, upon my announcement that I was about to leave this particular church, I had made that clear. They had bought into the lies that this person had said that I mentioned in an earlier podcast, and they didn't trust me at all anymore. And I had a really nice laptop that was an Apple MacBook Pro, and they were afraid that I was going to try to steal it. And that's probably one of the most hurtful things that's ever happened to me in my ministry. I would never take from the people and the kids that I worked with. Would never steal from them. So they called me in and they had drawn up a document and they wanted me to sign it saying I wouldn't take any of the books or the things that the church had purchased for my ministry. So what I did, I went back to my office. I pulled out all the receipts of the books that I had purchased with money that I had given toward that purpose. And I measured those amounts up, and I took the books that I had purchased or the CDs or whatever that I had given toward. I did magic and I had props, and I took the stuff that equaled up to what I had given, and then I had an attorney friend of mine look at it and double check that I had done everything above board and the way I should have, and I left. About 3 years later, I'm at work in a hardware store and my phone rings, and it's one of my friends that was in the room that day. And he says, I want to talk to you. And he said, I need to ask you to forgive me. He said, I had bought into the lies of the things that these people had been telling me. And he said, my trust for you was compromised, and I'm sorry. And I want you to know that has been eating me up for about 3 years. Let's meet and go have some lunch. And I said, that'd be great. We talked, and now our friendship is okay. Now, here's the key difference in the two. One wanted to work it out, and the other did not. Here's what you need to think about and what you need to focus on. You need to understand that at nighttime, when you flip the light switch off and you're looking up in the dark and it's just you and the Lord, that you've got to be able to go to sleep knowing that you're righteous. Righteous with others, righteous with Him, and right with yourself. The righteousness with others only happens if both people are interested, but you do your part. And as long as you've done your part, you can go to sleep with peace. If you are right with the Lord, like I had hard feelings for a long time toward that first fellow, and I've gone to him and I've asked God to forgive me. I tried to work it out with the gentleman and he didn't care. And he even approached me in church later and stuck his hand out and acted like everything was great, which was a lie. He lied in front of everyone else thinking everything they would see would make it look like it was fine when it wasn't. And he knew that. But I had tried. And then right with myself that I had done all I could do to try to make things okay. So, righteousness, being able to go to sleep, turn the light on and look up in the dark, right with God, right with others, and right with myself. That is the most important thing. When it comes to apologies and it comes to saying I'm sorry, it takes two parties in order to do it. God will always accept your apology. He always will. And because of that, you can be okay with yourself. You can only control what you do toward others. So you do your best. You do what's right. Treat them with love and kindness and give them heaven.